Good morning. My name is Stuart Goodinson. I'm Managing Director of Lacy Executive Recruitment. My background has always been in agriculture as a sales manager, sales director, managing director across all sectors in the agriculture. And now I'm lucky enough to get to run a business that involves people, which is my favourite product in the agricultural marketplace. And so I've been talking about how difficult the market is. And I think if you're a company and you've made this decision to either replace or find new people, you have to think very, very clearly and work very hard about how you're going to find these people. And why that is because people are very reluctant to move. The people that you want to join your company are probably very active, very happy in their current role. They're probably being well looked after. The best people are being valued in their own company. So you as a company have to be very clear about what your offer is to those candidates. You have to be very clear about why your company is the best place to come and work for. You have to be very specific about the job you want that person to do and what that success will look like for that person. You have to sell yourself as a company and a job and a place to work as hard, if not harder, than you would your own products. And I think a lot of companies at the moment are forgetting about that. And a lot of people at the top of companies right in the UK right at the moment maybe came through the 80s and 90s where it was so much easier to find people and there was much lower employment, and there was a feeling that, hey, if you come and work for me, I'll give you a job and it'll be great. But times are very, very different now for companies. You have to really work hard to get the people that you want. Now, a lot of companies at the moment are quite rightly using all the different platforms that there are around, whether that's LinkedIn or social media or hard print or other promotional platforms to try and find these people themselves. And that's great. But what we're discovering at the moment is that they're finding it much more difficult than they thought it would be, for all the reasons I said before, which is that the best people are probably not looking to move. Usually the person that you want to join your company doesn't even realize they're looking for a job. And so the response to adverts, when companies or recruiters put adverts into the press, onto websites, onto job boards, onto any form of promotional platform, the response is usually fairly limited. It's usually the people that you don't want to apply. It's usually people who are in the market already. And sometimes you have to question why people in a high employment situation are looking for a job. And so what we're finding is that often companies will work very hard for 3 months by themselves to try and find and bring that person in, but eventually realize that actually they're getting nowhere, and then they will come to a professional recruitment business like Lacy Executive, who will run the project in a different way. Also will do a much deeper search, but will also manage the candidates all the way through the process. And so in a difficult marketplace as it is now, you probably have to spend more time, you probably have to go deeper, you probably have to spend more money to find that person that you want, and sometimes that can be quite difficult for a client to swallow. So yeah, it is interesting times. It is hard work at the moment for sure. Where we're at the moment in Q4 in the UK, there's something interesting going on, and that is that because of the economic uncertainty, because of the post-viral marketplace still sorting itself out, because of the continuous talk and reality of the of the cost of living crisis, people have decided in Q4 probably to stop searching for a new job. They're probably just shutting up shop in a way to stay where they are, to keep the security of their salaries during the winter period to pay the bills. Now, that often happens towards the end of Q4 anyway because of Christmas, but it's happening more intensely at the moment. I think in Q1 and Q2, we'll start to see some differences going on in the marketplace. Generally speaking, in the UK, I think we'll start to see more people being forced to come into the marketplace. We may well see some redundancies coming through across all sectors. I think there will be more uncertainty and from candidates, less surety in jobs. So I think we'll start to see an atmosphere of people starting to move around a little bit more. And I think we'll see the same thing in UK agriculture. I think there will be some consolidation in the animal feed business in the UK. I think there'll be further consolidation in the and refining in the arable sector, which may mean that there will be more people looking to move and having to move. So we may start to see the market flip a little bit. What I mean by that is that we may start to see the market with a few more people willing to move, having to move, looking to move, which will make things more interesting and better if you're a company that is trying to expand. I think it will be probably the end of January when we might start to see the signs of that happening. A lot of people, recruitment companies, whatever, are coming out with these cliches at the moment, saying, well, it's a candidate-driven market. The truth is, it's not really a candidate-driven market. A candidate-driven market is when candidates are actually willing and happy to move, but they're using their bargaining power to gain a higher salary. And it's not. Candidates are not particularly willing to move at the moment. Salaries are only creeping up because of counter offers. The candidate often is getting to the stage where they are ready to accept to look at an offer from a company. That offer comes in to move. They are then persuaded that maybe they shouldn't move by their current company, or by friends and family persuade them not to move. So basically they've got that higher salary and they're staying put where they are. In 3 to 6 months' time, the reason why they wanted to leave is still there. So they pick up the phone, or they do start to think about moving, but their salary is already higher than it was. So the next company is having to pay even more for that person than they would have done 6 months ago. So we're starting to see salary levels creep up, not because of the colour of the people who are moving up, not because the job description, the job specifications are moving up, but because counter offers from previous potential moves are driving the marketplace up. So my advice to a client is, if you are thinking about recruiting new salespeople, or a technical support person, or a finance manager, do it now, because salary increases are going to continue going up. And in fact, I would say in the last 12 months, I've often seen jobs that were, let's say, a £38,000 salary are probably now a £45,000 salary. So the culture at the moment, the circumstance at the moment, is driving salaries up. Again, I think a client should work with a good recruitment business to ensure that the person that you want, the person that you're looking for, matches your growth strategy. And it may be that we look at your strategy a little bit more and shape a role a little differently, so we can find somebody who could do 80% of those things for 70% of the cost. So I think working with a recruiter, as companies should work with recruiters, so that we can shape your search, shape your aspirations to match your strategy much closer, and find the people that you need. In the UK, I think what we're starting to see is some resistance by companies to think about their growth plans. And the reason why I say that is that interest levels creeping up, input costs going up, cash flows are being disrupted. So some growth plans are being put on hold by companies while they manage the strategy and ride out the storm. So I think that will have a balance in the marketplace in Q1, Q2 next year. as maybe companies put the brakes on recruitment, or even maybe shed some people, more people will come into the market looking for a job or having to have a job. So again, if you're a company and you want to start recruiting at the beginning of next year, now is the time to start having the conversations with DeLacy or recruitment companies. And the reason I say that is because it's probably a lead time of at least 3 months from starting to look for those people to actually getting to a position where you can start to offer and onboard those people. So even if you want somebody, in January or February, then yeah, you need to start talking to us now, and you have to be very clear about what your growth strategy plan, what your business plan is, to ensure that we can find those people to match it.